war with Iran? Are you seeking regime change?
We'll see what happens with Iran. If they do anything, it will be a very bad mistake. If they do anything, I'm hearing little stories about Iran. If they do anything, they will suffer greatly. We'll see what happens with Iran.
President Trump warning Iran after Secretary of State Mike Pompeo traveled to Brussels to share intelligence with European allies about the threat he says Iran poses to U.S. interests. Joining me now is Iran's ambassador to the United Nations, Majid Takhtravanchi. Ambassador, thank you so much for being with us. Welcome to New Day.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
You heard the president say he's hearing little stories about Iran. And the Wall Street Journal reports that U.S. intelligence suspects that Iran is behind the sabotage of those Saudi vessels in the Strait of Hormuz the other day. Was Iran involved in the attack on those vessels?
Definitely not. This is something that we have said we regret, and there has to be a thorough investigation about this incident, which is endangering the safety and security of navigation in the Persian Gulf area, which is very vital for Iran as well. So we want the thorough investigation. And let me tell you that these allegations are being aired by certain people in Washington who whisper in president's ears, and some other people in our region, which are called B Team, Bibi Netanyahu, Bolton, Ben Zayed, and Ben Salman. These people are spreading these lies in order to provoke, in order to prepare the ground for a conflict in our neighborhood.
No involvement from Iranian proxies either? No one connected to Iran?
As I said, Iran is not in a business of doing such a thing. And we need to have a thorough investigation as to what has happened and who is responsible for it.
The United States predicated the movement of a U.S. aircraft carrier and other equipment to the Persian Gulf based on what they told the media was intelligence that Iran was planning some kind of attacks on U.S. interests. What about that intelligence?
These are all fake intelligence. These are fake intelligence based on certain narrow-minded agenda, as I said, pursued by certain people in Washington as well as in our region. They are making up these allegations and in order to create fake stories.
Do you have any plans? Does Iran have any plans, either directly or through its proxies or allies in Iraq, in Lebanon, to attack U.S. interests or troops?
We have best of relations with our neighbor Iraq, and we do not interfere in the affairs of Iraq. So Iraq is a sovereign government. We have good relations with that country.
It was reported overnight, and CNN has confirmed, well, the New York Times reported, let me say this, that the National Security Council was briefed on Pentagon plans to deploy some 120,000 U.S. troops to the region, to the Persian Gulf region, if Iran attacks U.S. interests there. What's your reaction to these plans?
These are all psychological warfare, in our opinion. We are not in the business of trying to create a conflict in our neighborhood. Because nobody is going to have benefit from such a conflict in our region, except for a few, as I explained earlier, some people in Washington and some countries in our neighborhood.
You've heard the President of the United States say it would be a very big mistake if Iran does anything. What do you think he means?
I don't know. You should ask him. Iran is having great relations with our neighbors. Iran is in the Persian Gulf area. We are not in Gulf of Mexico. So these questions should be directed to those people who have come to our neighborhood from thousands of miles. So we are there. We are protecting our interests in our neighborhood, and we are protecting the safety and security of the Persian Gulf area.
You are increasing your stockpiles of heavy water and enriched uranium. Why?
Because JCPOA, or the nuclear deal, was the result of many years of intense negotiations between Iran and a number of countries. And when last year President Trump decided to leave the JCPOA, the nuclear deal, our partners within that deal told us not to rush to withdraw from the agreement. And we did. And we accepted their offer. So we waited for 1 year. We were very patient. But unfortunately, after 1 year, we came to this conclusion that nothing actually is happening as regards to Iran's interests based on what we agreed in the JCPOA. So we decided for 60 days to not to honor only 2 commitments based on JCPOA, and we will see what will happen in the course of the next 60 days.
Does Iran want nuclear weapons?
No, because it is against our religion. Our supreme leader has made a verdict on the prohibition of nuclear weapons. Besides, it is not, nuclear weapons are not within the defense doctrine of Iran.
Last question. The U.S. president has said he would welcome a call from Iran to negotiate. I know you have said that the United States pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal, so what is there to talk about? But is there any condition with which Iranian leaders would speak to President Trump?
You know, the policy of maximum pressure and the offer of a dialogue are mutually exclusive. They cannot expect Iran to accept an offer under pressure, while the policy of maximum pressure is creating problems for the Iranian people. We cannot accept a dialogue based on coercion, based on intimidation and threats.
Ambassador Takht Ravanchi, thank you very much for being with us. Please come back on New Day. An interesting discussion. I really appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Allison?
All right, John, anti-Semitism.